Hi, I'm Jake,
And I am Tim.
and welcome to PT&J. This morning, we're going to show off a Bible that, well, in my circles, is going to be a little bit controversial. This is the Catholic Study Bible.
And mind you, we are spirit-filled Pentecostals that believe King James only. No, I'm just kidding. But anyhow, back to you.
Yeah, so the Catholic Study Bible is definitely one that will raise some eyebrows when you take it to church on Sunday morning, especially if you're not Catholic. So what we have here is what is called the New American Bible.
Now, do you know anything about that translation?
The New American Bible? No, I know absolutely nothing. Please tell us more.
Yeah. I know nothing about it either.
Oh.
Yeah.
Well, fantastic. Let's learn about what's on the inside.
I do know, wait a minute, I do know this.
Mm-hmm.
I do know that it is an English translation of the Bible, and I believe it may be, now don't quote me on this because I'm not positive, it may be the second, but it's at least among two of the Catholic translations into English. The first one was called the Douay Rheims, I believe, that was translated into English. My parents actually have a copy of that. If I could get a hold of that, we could do a killer review because that thing is like old.
Yeah, they still print those.
Yeah.
But this is the Catholic Study Bible. So what you're going to find is something similar to other study Bibles. But at the beginning of this, you're going to find certain reading guides.
This is the thickest, look, this is what our Bible is about thing I've ever seen in my life.
Oh, yeah. This is a very, very thick Bible, but take a look at this.
Yeah, it's like the first, 100 and some pages are...
Genesis doesn't start until right here.
Yeah. So
what we have right here is a whole bunch of reading guides. So the reading guides are written by the different editors and contributors, so you can actually go through and find out who all these people
Donald
actually
Sr.,
are.
this dude here, is actually quite an accomplished author. He has a bunch of Catholic books.
Oh, yeah. I did a little bit of research about a
Yeah.
few of these people when I was going through it.
Yeah.
And there are, like he said, very accomplished authors in here. So these are people that have done a lot of research, a lot of study. So when you come through here and you take a peek, the biblical text and their background, it's a reading guide.
Donald Sr.
Donald Sr., there is some really important stuff that he points out about the timeline of the Bible, when things were, and for the most part, from the brief perusing I've done, it seems to be relatively accurate. So these guys are really, really knowledgeable on where the Bible came from, what's in it.
Right, well, and Catholic professors and Catholic professionals and Catholic scholars typically aren't dumb people. Matter of fact, a lot of them are brilliant. They are usually just somewhat liberal in their point of view.
Right. But either way, you're going to be getting a lot of knowledge on the different books of the Bible. Like right here, this is the reading guide, and this is almost where it starts, so it's in order. So we see here numbers. I mean, you're going to have a few pages of text.
Right.
Similar to a commentary on Numbers, then moving over into Deuteronomy. This is kind of standard fare for a study Bible. However, they keep all this in the front.
Right.
And
So this would be
like it.
somewhat like a... Would it be somewhat like an equivalent to the book introductions you see in...
Yeah, this is where most study Bibles, right here, the Song of Songs, several pages right in front of...
So does it have like
songs.
what they believe to be the author, what they believe to be the purpose and theme, and...
Oh, yeah.
Okay, so
Yeah.
but it's just extremely thorough.
Right, these are very thorough.
Yeah.
Each one's a few pages.
So it could be useful.
Oh, definitely. Just like any study Bible, you don't have to agree with 100% of the stuff they've actually put inside of it.
Just like the dates.
Controversy. But, like I said, a study Bible is a study Bible, and it's going to have a lot of helps and introductions. So
Those are pretty tabs there.
yeah. So construction-wise, the Bible itself, this is a hardback. It is not made very well due to the fact that this is a hardback and they've got a ton of stuff actually on the inside of it. This thing it's all glued up. It's not going to last very long if you're doing a whole bunch of intense reading
Right.
and research.
I've got several similar to that.
Yeah, and so it's really thick, and as I move through it and go through it, I feel like that it's creaking and popping in ways that are essentially breaking it. But long story short, the pages are super thin. There's some ghosting that's through here.
Super thin, still super thick. Wow.
Yeah, super thin, super thick. These pages are really, really thin, and it feels like it wants to rip every time I turn a page.
Good grief. That is like that stuff you put in gift bags.
Yeah. This is
like tissue paper.
This is very thin, but then again, if they wanted to make it thicker with nicer paper, then you'd be carrying around a Bible that's that thick because of all the stuff.
Oh, it's almost that thick already.
Yeah, it's almost that thick. The thumb tabs in this are the kind that I almost like, but they're definitely not perfect. It's difficult to thumb through this Bible with the thumb tabs, but all in all, I like the fact that it's dual column. You got the double columns. The references are at the bottom. And
wow, so it has all that junk in the front.
Yeah, and it still's going to have the
I didn't
cross
mean
references.
junk. I'm sorry to my Catholic friends. All that stuff in the front.
But yeah, it's going to have the references. You're going to see the asterisks and then a number system so that you can go through and reference with those. And that is just fine in my opinion. That's an easy way to do things.
Daniel, wait a minute. Daniel has extra stuff. Do they put it at the end of Daniel, or do they put it in the middle with the Pentateuch? I mean, not the Pentateuch, the Apocrypha.
Okay, Daniel has extra stuff. Let's see.
Well, the way you can find out is keep going this way. And if there's...
The appendix?
Right there. There's the extra stuff.
Well, what is that?
There's something about a dragon and all kinds of weird stuff in there. This is...
I like dragons.
Yeah.
But not in the Bible where they normally wouldn't exist.
Well, except Job.
Except Job.
That's
Behemoth.
Breathing thing. No, the Leviathan. The fire.
Oh, that's Leviathan.
I wonder what their point of view is on this thing. I wish we had more time to just...
Yeah, unfortunately we don't. Okay, so let's get into some of where the Apocrypha is. I think we passed the Baruch.
Yeah, do they have it like intertwined within the Bible?
Oh,
like
yeah.
They do in most
It's
Catholic
definitely
Bible?
intertwined.
Okay. So it's not in the middle like it is in the...
I won't turn here, but you see MAL for Malachi, and then immediately MAT for Matthew. So it is not... First and Second Maccabees is not plugged in
so it'll have...
between. So it's actually... Okay, there's SIR and WIS Wisdom. And there's Baruch. I don't see where the Maccabees
where would they put those?
I don't know, but they're definitely
they're in there, and we know it, because...
Oh, yeah. So, tell us about what not the Pentateuch, what the Apocrypha is.
Well, the Apocrypha, the word Apocrypha means hidden, or it can mean hidden or false, or the pseudepigrapha especially is considered false. But the Apocrypha is basically accepted by the Catholic Church, but it was rejected by the early church. It was never meant to be included in the scriptures, and most Protestant Bibles include it in the middle because they considered them good reading. They considered them useful, but they didn't ever consider them inspired. Most of them are history, like 1st, 2nd Maccabees is like kind of the history of Israel between the Old and New Testaments. And like Tobit, I believe Tobit was a scholar for Jeremiah, a writer for Jeremiah. I think I can't remember what his name is. Baruch was the writer for Jeremiah. So they believe that these are generally accepted. However, they also don't have any way of dealing with the fact that many of them weren't discovered until the 2nd century, and they were in Greek, a lot of them. So they were never in Hebrew. So there's a lot of issues with them. So they were never really fully received.
Right, and pretty much all of the original Old Testament, as affirmed by what we found in the Dead Sea Scrolls, I mean, much, much, much later,
right,
was pretty much already set in stone way before the 2nd century.
Right.
So to add that in later, Yeah.
Well, the Catholic Church is good at adding things in later. That seems to be their thing.
Yeah. That's
Add in certain requirements for salvation, add this, add a little this, add to the Eucharist, add the body of Jesus actually inside the Eucharist.
Yeah.
Transubstantiation, look that up, folks. It is weird. The Catholics are weird
and I'm
people.
pretty sure Revelation has something to say about adding things to the book.
Well, that may be specific to Revelation, but there is a proverb that says, "Don't add to my word." So you have that too that covers all of it. So definitely wouldn't be messing with the Word of God.
Oh yeah, definitely don't want to do that. Okay, so in this Bible, there's the end of Revelation right here. So you have a glossary, and the glossary is kind of cool. The type font looks pretty good. It's a little bit small, but definitely usable. So this is what kind of gets cool. Actually, let me go back right here. Pages are thin and they don't want to turn really easily.
Index to reading guide.
Yeah, so this is what is called the lectionary, and these are the weekday readings. So if you go through this, from what you were telling me earlier, the lectionary is a reading plan that they can
yes,
you can do on a
and the
scale.
priests have this big thick lecture. It's actually a very beautiful book. It's typically bound in red like leather look,
cool.
but it's hardback. And they use that to preach out of. So if you follow the lectionary, then you kind of are able to follow along with the priest.
No, I didn't check it. Does this cover the entire Bible then? Because it looks like it's a 3-year reading plan from the beginning.
Yeah, I don't know. I was a Catholic, but I wasn't a real good one, so.
It wasn't real good.
Yeah, I didn't do the lectionary readings and all that stuff.
Just think, if you had been better at being a Catholic, you could still be one today.
Yeah, no thanks.
All right. Okay, so you've got a reading guide index. So this is
Benedictus.
Oh yeah. So it's going to be a little more. It looks like it's topical.
Yeah.
Well, there's several pages of that. So not super thorough, but then again,
collaborators.
Oh, collaborators. Okay, so it tells you who has gone in here and essentially helped put this Bible together for the different books.
More collaborators.
Right. So this is the second edition. So a lot of this was already written, and then you'll see these names on the revised Psalms, like they completely redid or went over Psalms and a few of the other books completely separately.
And it has a concordance.
Yeah, it's got what looks like a pretty beefy concordance.
Yeah. Go ahead, Catholics.
Yeah.
Do your thing.
Yeah. Concordances are ridiculously helpful, and having a huge concordance is very nice. However, it does make your Bible a little bit thicker. So it's one of those things where you can... It is what it is.
And it's got the thick color maps.
Yeah.
They're not super thick, though.
Yeah, full color on cardstock.
Yeah.
So this is about your general map type paper that you'll see. But lots of full color maps.
Go to the end and see if it has like Constantinople and.
You got your index to that. Well, Constantinople. What are you wanting to look?
I'm just wanting to see
place?
if it includes the Roman Empire. Yeah, it's going to have all that. So
yeah.
That might be unique, but probably not.
Yep. And that's pretty much it. The Catholic Study Bible. It's got a lot of really neat stuff in here. The fact that it's got the thumb tab so you can go through and find the weird places, or even just the book you're looking for. I'm a love-hate kind of fan with thumb tabs. If they aren't good thumb tabs and you can't thumb through it really easily, then that's a problem.
So this is probably something that could be useful for your library if you wanted to understand what Catholics believe from their own point of view instead of trying to come up with your own ideas. But it's definitely not going to be a good source for correct interpretation of the Bible.
Right. When I see something that's unfamiliar, like this is the New American Bible Translation.
Yeah, I've never even heard of that until this thing here.
Right. I see something like that, and until I know exactly what it is, I'm going to consider it suspect.
Right.
Until I've gained more knowledge about what it is. However, this is something that I saw. It was used. I picked it up, and I've enjoyed thumbing through it a little bit. The Apocrypha, while actually not considered part of biblical canon, is very interesting.
At least first Maccabees. Second Maccabees is really weird.
Yeah.
That's where purgatory shows up and all kinds of weird happenings and dead souls and it's just weird.
Oh yeah. For me, it's interesting to read, but it's not really part of what most people are going to consider the Bible outside of Catholics. Long story short, I like it. It's cool, but I'm going to treat it like any book that I like and find cool, and not so much.
To all my Catholic family members, I'm sorry.
Yeah, I tried to be gentle.
Yep.
Yeah, it is what it is. If you're not Catholic, well, you may not find a lot of use for it. However, if you want a copy of the Apocrypha and you want to read, especially the introductions that are at the front, very, very thorough. If you want to get yourself in the mindset of someone that is Catholic and you want to learn what they're being taught, then that's going to be a great place to start. Lots of helps that run through this, and the cross references will also be intertwining things just like any study Bible would. So that's all I got for today.
Alrighty, well, sign us off.
All right. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to like, subscribe. Check us out on YouTube. You want to subscribe there, as we'll have some cool stuff posted there. And remember, life is always sweeter when you start your day with a heaping helping of PT&J.
Bye.